This lecture is on antioxidants, vitamins A, C, and E, and the mineral selenium. When we look at how antioxidants work, we can see that there are a variety of free radicals that come into our body and have the opportunity to damage DNA if not neutralized. These free radicals can stem from pollution, from exposure to sunlight, from smoking, from stress, really just living a long life as well. Free radicals will just happen throughout the aging process. And so when we look at preventing these free radicals from damaging our DNA, vitamin C is one antioxidant that can be a first line of defense. Vitamin C, as ascorbic acid, can donate an electron and then again lets off a hydrogen proton as well and becomes vitamin C form dehydroascorbic acid. Vitamin C can neutralize these free radicals in that process by donating the electrons, so then the free radicals can no longer damage molecules such as DNA, causing mutated cells that can then lead to things like heart disease as well as cancer, and cause us to age faster. We're going to walk through each of the antioxidant vitamins and then through selenium over the next few minutes. Vitamin A has a variety of roles. Vitamin A can be found in two forms in the diet. Preformed vitamin A is present primarily as retinol, which is bound to a fatty acid, and this is found in animal foods, especially in organ meats. Beta-carotene, on the other hand, is from plant foods. This can be converted into retinal in the intestinal mucosa and in the liver, so it can be converted into vitamin A, but will be stored as plant pigment until this process happens. For this reason, the toxicity symptoms of beta-carotene versus retinol form of vitamin A are very different. Once retinoic acid has been formed, it can't be converted back to retinal or retinol. However, in the body, retinol and retinal can be interconverted. So these will be the 4 different forms of vitamin A that we'll be talking about in the body. Vitamin A is heavily involved in the visual cycle. After entering the eye, light strikes the visual pigment called rhodopsin, which is in the retina. Rhodopsin consists of a protein called opsin combined with retinal. And as you remember, retinal is one form of vitamin A that can come either from retinol or from beta-carotene. The light's going to cause the retinal molecule to change from a bent or cis formation to a straight or trans configuration. This shift sends a signal to the brain, telling the brain that there is light and retinal is released from opsin. This allows us to help differentiate light and dark, and so this is why we say that carrots can help us see in the dark. After that signal is sent and retinal is released from opsin, some retinal is lost from the cycle, and some retinal returns to its original cis configuration and binds to opsin to begin the cycle again. When vitamin A is deficient, there's not enough vitamin A available in the blood, and the regeneration of rhodopsin is delayed. Until it's reformed, light cannot be perceived. This can cause night blindness in vitamin A deficiency. When vitamin A status is normal, vitamin A from the blood can replace any retinal lost from the cycle. Therefore, vitamin A status is really required in order to be able to differentiate light and dark, especially with night vision and driving in the dark and things like that. Vitamin A has another role in gene expression. Retinoic acid can enter the nucleus of the cell and bind to a retinoic acid receptor protein. The vitamin protein complex then can bind to a regulatory region of DNA. Transcription of the gene is then stimulated, and if you remember from the protein chapter, transcription is creating a copy of the DNA, and this can increase the amount of copies or the amount of mRNA made. mRNA then will direct translation, increasing the synthesis of the protein that's been coded by this gene. And the cellular functions and body processes affected by this protein are increased. Therefore, vitamin A can increase gene expression and enhance the number of proteins created to cause body processes to occur. Vitamin A is also very important in the formation of keratin. When we create new cells in our epithelial tissue with normal vitamin A status, we can create mucus on the surface of that epithelial tissue, creating a lubricating environment for the eye. However, when vitamin A is deficient, the mucus is not created as cells aren't differentiated, and keratin, which is a hard and dry substance, forms. This can cause, in addition to night blindness for vitamin A deficiency, an irreversible blindness called xerophthalmia. When we look at vitamin A toxicity, as I mentioned before, beta-carotene is stored as pigment in usually in the skin, under the skin surface, while waiting to be converted to the active form of retinal or retinoic acid. Because of this, this can cause excessive amounts of beta-carotene to be stored in the pigment of the skin. This will be very apparent in people who don't have much pigment in their skins, who are very fair-skinned, and with excessive amounts of beta-carotene intake, either from orange vegetables or green leafy vegetables, you might end up seeing a slight orange hue of the skin, as you can see here on this small hand over here. This usually happens in babies or in children who are very fair-skinned. If they're eating, say, a lot of baby food that is the orange color, which often happens when babies are first starting to eat different foods, as things like sweet potatoes and carrots have a little more of a sweet flavor, which is more appetizing than some of the other baby foods out there. Vitamin C, in addition to the antioxidant function that we've talked about already, is important in the formation of collagen or connective tissue. Without vitamin C, the collagen molecules cannot form cross-links to form strong, healthy connective tissue. So as you can see here, vitamin C is going to be important in the formation of collagen, which is why scurvy is a deficiency disorder associated with vitamin C deficiency. Vitamin E, as well as vitamin C, acts as an antioxidant. Vitamin E is a little bit different than vitamin C in that it can get into the phospholipid bilayer in the cell and inside the cell, in addition to fighting free radicals outside the cell. The problem is when vitamin E donates an electron, it actually becomes positively charged as well and needs vitamin C to work with it in order to neutralize it. So therefore, although vitamin E can neutralize free radicals, vitamin E really needs the help of vitamin C in order to become neutralized itself, as vitamin C, as we saw in the beginning of this lecture, releases a hydrogen molecule, so it can just be converted to dehydroascorbic acid, which is this yellow form over here, from the ascorbic acid, which is the orangish form. So really, when you're taking a supplement or having foods, you need to make sure that vitamin C and vitamin E are both being consumed in order to optimize antioxidant capacity. Now, there's also selenium. So selenium, as opposed to vitamins which work more alone in their antioxidant capacity by just donating an electron, selenium works in a system called glutathione peroxidase system, and this causes peroxides to become neutralized to prevent the free radical formation in the first place. So you could say that some of these antioxidant systems that are more mineral-based, selenium and glutathione peroxidase is one of them. Iron, manganese, copper, and zinc will also act in other antioxidant systems to help to neutralize a variety of substances that have the capacity to then turn into free radicals. So you can see that this selenium can be sort of the first line of defense, and then if any free radicals are formed, then vitamin E as well as vitamin C we could add in here, then will help to neutralize any free radicals. So both of these will work together to prevent cellular damage, but as you can see, selenium is going to work to prevent free radical production in the first place, whereas vitamin E and vitamin C will help to neutralize free radicals.